Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Dr. Priya O'Hare, and I am the host of The Healing Table. Today, I'm so excited as I welcome you on to our episode 8 of this podcast. I have with me a very dear person. I just met her for the first time today, but we just blended. We've been talking behind the scene, and here with me is an advocate, a true warrior, and a survivor. Please join me as we welcome our very own Boma Susan Banjo to the table.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Boma Banjo. I'm a stage 2 breast cancer survivor,
Wow.
and I'm the founder of the Boma Cancer Foundation right here in the city of Port Harcourt, Nigeria, where Boma Cancer Foundation is about restoring hope.
Mhm.
We believe that cancer does not have to be a death sentence. It's no longer a death sentence. So we help families restore hope. We help victims access treatment, and of course create awareness on early detection, as early detection saves lives, just like it did to mine. Thank you.
Early detection saves life. So let me just ask a question. Early detection, there's something about our Nigerian custom. We don't go for medical checks.
Yeah.
And even when you go for medical checks, I've done it before. And the doctor asked me, why are you here? And I was like, oh, just routine check. So did you observe anything? So we are naturally given to something must happen before you go for check. And that's what happens to late detection of most of these things. So how did you get to check, and how did you know about it, and what was your first reaction?
Well, I'm gonna say I found out I had breast cancer just by checking my breast self-exam, like self-breast exam,
Wow.
right?
Mhm.
And we were taught about that in church, right? They brought some medical professionals to give us awareness talk and how to check your breast. So of course they told us what to do, what to look out for, and all of that. So somehow it stuck in my subconscious and I started checking. I didn't even realize it stuck in my subconscious until the day I stumbled on a lump in my breast. That was when I realized, oh, this thing was not there before. So it showed I was always checking. That was why I knew something strange was there.
Okay.
So I just found by checking. And of course, when I saw it, it was not painful.
Was
Nothing.
it painful?
It was totally painless.
Oh.
So, of course, I brushed it off like, maybe it's just a normal lump. But after about a month, I started to feel pain there. So I decided to go check it out. Just like you said, when I got to the hospital, they asked like, why are you here?
Mhm.
I said, I stumbled on a lump in my breast and it wasn't painful and now it's getting painful. And the guy was like, okay, we'll check.
Mhm.
So he did check and said his machine was not picking anything.
Wow.
And that, madam, go home. It's just probably fatty tissue. And I said, fatty tissue, how? So you mean fatty tissue just traveled around my body and deposited in my... I said, yeah, it's possible.
Oh.
I said, okay. I said, but it wasn't painful before.
Mhm.
And now it's painful. He said I shouldn't worry. That's why I tell people you need to seek a second opinion, third opinion, fourth opinion if you like.
Yeah.
So I left there, but I wasn't satisfied because I know this thing wasn't painful before and now it's painful. So, of course, I did seek a second opinion. And when the doctor checked my breast, he was like, of course, there's a lump here. Who did this kind of breast scan? It was a breast scan I did
Mhm.
at first. I said he didn't see a lump. I said, I don't know, So, afterwards, I still didn't think anything sinister. So, it was after like a month. Nigerians now, procrastination.
Mhm.
I felt like, okay, maybe it's just a breast lump. I was in Lagos at the time. When I get back to Port Harcourt, I'll take out the lump.
Yeah.
But after a month, the pain now became worse. If I used to feel it like 2 times a week, it became more frequent, 3 times a day.
Wow.
So I decided, okay, let me have this lump taken out. But because I felt, before now, I used to think cancer was for old women.
women.
So I didn't think it was breast cancer.
Mhm.
So I just decided to have the lump taken out. It was 2 weeks later after the histology results came out that I found out it was breast cancer.
It was cancerous.
Yes. So that was it for me.
So the doctor called you to the office?
Yes, he didn't call me at first. I noticed that I wasn't healing as fast as it was supposed to. Because I remember when I was doing the lumpectomy, he said, I asked him how long it was going to take the procedure. He said just 20, 30 minutes. And I ended up staying in theater for almost 2 hours,
Mm.
And I know he was talking to the nurse and other people in theater that if it was fibroderma or something, I didn't know what they're talking about. All those their medical terms. So I didn't know what he was trying to say was if it was a normal lump, it would have just popped out. But because it was a cancerous tumor, it was probably trying to spread and attach to the walls of my chest. I didn't understand that's what he was saying at the time.
Wow.
So 2 weeks later, I was expecting that the surgery site would have healed, and it wasn't healing as fast as it should. So I called him and messaged him and said he wasn't there. I messaged him and said, Prof, this is what I noticed. And he said, I come to the hospital tomorrow. I didn't know the histology result was out, and he already knew, right? So it was like, come tomorrow, so that I'll check it out. I said, okay, no problem. So it was the next day. I went to the hospital. My aunt came with me, my mom's younger sister. She offered to take me to the hospital, and I know I kept asking her, Mommy, why are you going to the hospital? Don't worry.
Oh, you had already told them.
He had already told her because I knew he's a family friend.
Okay.
So he had already told her that Boma has cancer or the result is not looking good. So she didn't even know how to say it. Of course, the doctor has to tell you. So she said, okay. So that day, she offered that, when are you going to see Prof? I said, Mommy, I'm supposed to see him so day, but he said I should come tomorrow. She said, okay, don't worry, I'll come and pick you. I didn't know that was moral support she was trying to give me when I get there. So my mom too was wondering like, why is she taking you to the hospital? She said she wants to do her own checkup. It was when we got there, while waiting for the doctor, I still asked her, Mommy, you said, what kind of checkup are you doing? She said, just routine yearly checkup, And I said, okay, no problem. It was when the doctor came in. She came in with a friend of hers that survived breast cancer like 5 years earlier.
Okay.
But everything didn't click in my head at the time. So it was when we walked into the doctor's office. I was seated in the middle. My aunt was by my right. Her friend was by the left. And they had their hands on my shoulder, trying to while the doctor was saying something, what he was saying, reading the results to me. I just noticed this person was rubbing me on my back here. This person, just to say, don't worry, you'll be fine. That was when it clicked that, okay, that's why this woman came with my aunt.
You.
And that's why my aunt offered to bring me here. Okay. So, of course, he now said, I'm afraid. When doctors say, I'm afraid, that bad news is coming. I'm afraid you have invasive ductal carcinoma. And I know that all those sarcoma, melanoma, all the mamas in my mind,
cancer.
I'm like, yes. I'm like, So I just said to him, breast cancer. He said, yes. All I remember was I just blanked out.
Oh.
It felt like I was in a tunnel or in a dream or something, So all I know that happened to me was I couldn't speak again. I just know they were saying something, but I didn't know what they were saying. So of course it was shocking. It wasn't what I planned. It felt like my whole life just flashed, in a second.
As if it's coming to an end.
It felt like it came to an end actually that day. Then I remember I kept saying, no, I must be dreaming. In my head, I kept saying, no, it must be a dream.
It must be a dream.
No, it's a dream. This doctor doesn't know what he's saying. Cancer, me, how? I'm looking very healthy, chubby and everything. What's this man saying? No, this old man doesn't know what he's saying. I know I just kept... So, but after a while, and the next thing I said to him was, what are my chances? And he said, you found out early, so it's treatable. I said, okay. But it still didn't make sense. Which one is this man saying cancer, treatable? Because, we all have that picture of people that are going through this cancer experience. We all see them skinny and the next thing is they're going to die. So there's to me, I didn't feel like I had hope. So everything he was saying just didn't make sense at the time. So he said, oh, you're going to do a surgery, you're going to do chemotherapy, you're going to... the thing now started sounding real to me.
So did all the pictures of the movies you have watched and when people died of cancer, did they start playing in your head? Like law of identification, all of a sudden you are beginning to see this person had. This happened to this person. This happened to that person.
Oh, yes, it did. Then, 3 months earlier, we lost my stepdad to colon cancer.
Wow.
So his image just flashed in my head like, we just buried this man 3 months earlier, right? And now they are saying I have cancer.
How did your mom take it?
It wasn't funny at all. It wasn't funny because it just felt like the devil remembered us. at the time. That was what it felt like.
I know,
And I
especially your
remember,
mom. It's like, what did I do? My husband now, my
yeah,
daughter.
my brothers were like, God, did we offend you?
Oh, I
Eh?
know.
See cancer drugs all over this house. We still have them from our father. Now our sister has cancer. Eh? I remember my younger brother was saying, but God, did we offend you really, really? Eh? What did we do to you? Are we the worst people on earth? So it wasn't funny. I remember when we came back from the hospital that day and my aunt took my aunt and her friend took my
Yeah.
mom towards the gate to say Boma has cancer and everything. The next thing she said was, God forbid, I'd rather die
Oh,
than my daughter I just lost my husband to cancer. What are people saying? So when we came into the house, my younger brother said, why are they taking mommy to the gate? Is it cancer? I said, no, it's not cancer. Because I didn't even know how to tell him that, we just
yes.
went through this some months
Some
ago,
months
and now we're going to go
ago,
through that same part. And the
again.
person, and my stepdad didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like,
Go.
another death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So I just told him, no, it's not cancer. But by the time my aunt and my mom walked in, of course, they just told them that this is the situation. But the doctor says she found out early,
Yeah.
so there's hope. We're telling everybody now because Boma needs all the moral support, all the
Support.
love, and all the care she can get. So there's no need hiding anything. So it kind
But
of gave a little relief to my
so
siblings.
I think one thing that helped you is because you had a very strong support system.
Oh yes, very
Yeah,
important.
because if you don't have a strong support system, it kills faster. Then sometimes that's when people become religious. Instead of following the doctor's prescription and what the doctor do, start going from one prayer to the other. And cancer, once you touch it, it begins to run and spread like,
Yeah, I keep telling people who try to be all religious, yes, we're Christians, whatever
Yeah.
religion you are. I keep telling people, I believe in the power of prayer.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian and I believe in the power of prayer. I also believe that medical science is a miracle.
Yes.
If God didn't want these doctors to know about it, we won't know about them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I keep saying, for me, the day I got into the theater for my surgery and came out like 3-4 hours later, my respect for doctors went like, it tripled.
Wow.
Because I just felt like, so this doctor actually just took one thing, cut my breast open, brought out the cancer tumor that was trying to kill me, stitched it up, and you won't even notice if I don't tell you. And I'm okay. And he didn't affect any other part of my body. So it made me realize that medical science is a miracle.
It
If
is
God
a
didn't want
miracle.
us, so he won't give us all the knowledge, give the doctors knowledge. So when I see people who, when they get ill, they get all religious and not want to go to the hospital, for me, going to the hospital is doing the right thing. And then trusting God that this my treatment will work. But most people, what they do is when they even find out early, they don't do the right thing. And at the end of the day, when it's too late, they're not expecting a miracle. For me, God helping you to find out early is a miracle.
Okay, like what we have heard from Boma here, going to the hospital is the first step to the miracle. Because a lot of times people have this illness, and it's not only cancer, it comes to even
Yeah.
HIV or different things. In Nigeria, every illness is malaria and typhoid.
Yeah.
Every illness. So they'll keep treating typhoid and they'll stop drinking tap water. They'll start buying bottled water. Yet they're treating typhoid. You need to get to the hospital. And that does not mean that you do not have faith
Yeah.
and you do not trust God. I've seen somebody, I heard of a pastor that actually even died believing that he's not going to take medication. How can you believe that you will not take medication? The trauma you leave behind, the people that love you, that will pass through that trauma of losing you as a parent,
Yeah.
as a friend, as a brother, or as a son, because of one decision. Medicine is from God.
Yes, definitely.
So you passed through, you did chemo, and did your hair fall off?
Oh, yes, definitely. 2 weeks later, I started chemotherapy. I stayed 2 weeks because I was confused. Everybody had an opinion. Everybody had one advice. Oh, don't do chemo. Oh, do chemo. Oh, don't do treatment in Nigeria. Oh, go to America. Oh, go to South Africa. Oh, go to the UK. Oh, go to Egypt. Someone even suggested Egypt. So I was confused, I started trying to contact different doctors, different hospitals. And then my family came one day and said, please, even if you want to go to the moon, my
Let's
auntie
just
came,
start.
just give the cancer small chemo first. That was what my auntie said. Just give the cancer
Small
small chemo
chemo to
first so that it
stop.
will be killing it
Yes.
first. That because everybody advising you now, when
Yeah.
anything goes wrong, you're on your own. And that they are telling you to go far. When you if you can't afford the medical expenses anymore, will they
Then
bring
what
money?
happened?
Number one. She said number two, love helps people to heal.
Yes.
So you need to be
love helps
around
people to heal.
you need to be around your family that will give you love and care and support. So 2 weeks later, of course, I started chemotherapy. And I remember the day I was doing chemotherapy. Of course, from all the stories we've heard about chemotherapy,
Yeah.
I said, this thing as you entering my body, this is the blood of Jesus. So I kept saying that this is the blood of Jesus. So all those things I hear that this thing will kill you, won't kill me. Oh.
Yeah.
You know. So
You were
after
strong though.
I kept looking forward to my next chemotherapy. Maybe because I'd had someone close that
Like a
passed,
stepdad.
that passed recently. So I knew that it was a race against time.
Yeah.
It's not something you play with.
A race against
It
time.
came to kill you.
Yeah.
And I keep telling people, if I stand in front of you and I want to kill you, will you just watch me kill you?
Mm-hmm.
No, you fight for your life. You put
Yeah.
up a fight. So I was like, okay, let me try. So I did the first chemo. Of course, I had all the side effects. My hair fell off. My skin got dark. I had leopard-like spots
Your
on my
skin
tongue.
got dark.
Yeah, very dark. Leopard-like spots on my tongue, under my feet. I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't eat. I lost appetite, of course. So I had nausea, diarrhea, constipation. At a point, I used to stool blood, from all of the side effects. But I knew that day, that was the day I felt like, it's like I'm going to die today,
Oh.
But after a while, I felt better, They were just temporal. So since the doctor had already told me, of course, you might experience, everybody's body is different.
Mhm.
So your side effects might be different from the other person's own. So, of course, my hair fell off when they told me it was going to fall off and advised me to cut it. But I was feeling like a strong woman. So I was like, anyone that's remaining, I'll just keep it like that. But after a week, I decided to lose the cornrows I had. As I was taking, like, half of my hair was on the floor. So I just went to the barber shop and cut it. But I was still feeling like a chick, so I still did the Anita Baker. So when I came back, the shower was just removing the remaining one. So I just took a clipper myself and took out the remaining
one.
And so that was it. So after that,
Can
every
I ask
3
you a
weeks,
question?
I did my
When your
chemotherapy.
hair fell off and you stood by the mirror, what came to your mind?
Actually, nothing, because I was expecting it, right? So I was still trying to feel like that strong woman. So I didn't feel, maybe because I'd been educated on what to expect, I didn't feel like my hair falling off was an issue, because I knew it was going to fall off. I just didn't know it was going to fall off that much. I didn't know when I touch it, it would just follow my hand, I thought, okay, it will fall off gradually. So when it fell off, I said, okay, no problem. I'll deal with this.
Yeah.
So even when I was complaining, they're like, it's just cosmetic. Please, Boma, focus on being alive.
Yeah.
Every other thing will fall into
will
place.
fall in place.
Of course, wigs were helping. So even when I used to go out, people didn't know what I was going through, except people who knew me before.
And
They'll
like
know
you're
that,
dark now.
yeah, oh, you're dark. Oh, you've lost weight. Oh, you're looking different. And of course, you're not looking healthy, because it's not weight loss from trying to lose weight. It's the weight loss from actually being ill from the side effects of chemotherapy. So, of course, I was looking sick.
Oh, wow. So that is the story and the journey. So your book, this is a book. So tell us a little bit about your book. What led you to write it?
Okay, while I was going through my cancer journey, I didn't see myself writing any book.
Okay.
So one day my aunt brought a book, this hardcover notebook. I said, Boma, you know what? I think you should pen down your experiences day to day and everything. Of course, I wasn't
Your
in
aunt
the mood.
is the angel God sent to you, actually.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yes, one of the angels. I have an amazing family. We have amazing friends that have been there, and they are still there. In fact, God just surrounded me with angels. And then my auntie, I remember the day this whole cancer diagnosis came, and I was on my way home crying all the way in her car. And she was saying, Boma, don't worry. One day you know the reason why God allowed this. It didn't make sense to me.
It should make sense.
In my mind, I'm like, what's wrong with this woman? I said, Mommy, which sense? Which sense? I just came to this world to suffer. I'll just die like that and go. I just came to work hard and work hard and work hard and just die and go. I remember that's what I was saying. And she said, well, one day it will make sense.
Hmm.
So while I was ill, of course, we all know cancer treatment is very expensive.
Yeah.
And God just brought people my way. This person will just, even without asking, when people just hear that Boma has cancer or she's battling cancer, people just wanted to give, people just wanted to help. And then she told me, she
It's so
said,
expensive now. One chemo is about 1.3 million now.
she said, Boma, when you're being nice to people, you didn't know that there was a day
They.
you will need people.
Hmm.
So you see why when we do things we don't know, we just do them. Just be a good person.
Yeah.
That was what she told me.
Just
She
be
said,
a
so
good
when you were
person.
being a good person, you didn't know that you will need people someday.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know that you will need people like Obama is almost dying and people will come through for you. So the seeds we sow definitely are very important. So it was difficult, but it was not so difficult because I had a loving family. We had great family friends, a great support system. My church people were supportive. In fact, I was even happy at first because if not for that awareness that we had in church, that's why we focus a lot on awareness at Boma Cancer Foundation. Because the first thing is you need to know what to look out for to even know something is wrong with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have that awareness, I wouldn't know what to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was ill, I started writing down my experiences, just writing them down, the book. Then, I want to do Thanksgiving. I'll be like, I think I should do my Thanksgiving. It's been a year. It's been 2 years. I don't know if it's the devil I'll say, what if this cancer comes back again?
Oh,
Won't you
yeah.
just wait?
Won't you just
Won't you
wait?
just wait,
And be expecting it back.
won't you just
Imagine.
wait? So, of course, at every point in time, I was always expecting reoccurrence. Then I think when it hit 5 years, after I survived cancer, now I'm like, okay, I'm close to it. Maybe I should do the Thanksgiving now. So, sometime in 2022, I now decided I was going to do the Thanksgiving. Then my grandma said, it's not just Thanksgiving now. That your book that you've been writing. I think you should finish it up so that you launch the book the day you're doing your Thanksgiving.
Oh.
It's not just to do Thanksgiving. Of course, Thanksgiving is important.
Yeah.
But people should actually hear your story.
Mm-hmm.
So I now put in more effort. I now had to move the date of the Thanksgiving to make sure the book was ready. So I decided to pen down my experience because I realized that here, first of all, people don't talk about what they go through. Not
Yes.
everybody wants to talk about it. Maybe because of stigma.
Stigma.
People feel like it's a death sentence. Won't it come back? Well, people just drop dead from a heart attack, from a cardiac arrest,
That's
and
it.
they didn't even see it
That's
coming.
it.
So I'm like, well, I'm not interested, or I don't care if people are going to judge. We don't have power over these things.
Yeah.
And cancer is not about what you did or what you did not do.
Mhm.
And surviving it is the grace of God and awareness. So I decided to put this book out there because I realized a lot of people don't want to talk about their story. And when you talk about your story, you help other people, even
When you-
without realizing it.
When you talk about your story, you help people without even realizing it.
Yeah.
And that's about the healing table. When my desire is for us to have people come and talk about their story.
Yeah.
So that other people can get healed. Other people can get their own testimony.
Yeah.
Other people can have the strength to go through, to move on. Because saying you are beautiful, you are. Somebody might look at it to say, if she survived, I can also survive. If she has passed through it, I can also. That gives her strength to move on. And you talked about how you were getting the funds, friends were there, people were there. It also teaches us that the best time to prepare for war is in the time of peace. When you need to be kind to people, you show
Yeah.
kindness, you sow
Definitely.
kind seeds, because there will come a day where you will need to reap. The Bible says in the book of Genesis, even God by himself said, as long as this earth remains, seed time
And
and
harvest.
harvest will never cease. When you were sowing those seeds of being nice to people, with your smile, with your kindness, helping people, you didn't know
Yeah.
that somewhere along the line, they were going to come back
Yes.
as seed of finances, seeds of moral support, seeds of calls,
Yeah.
seeds of encouragement, seeds of text messages, and you reaped it. And that's why you came out of it. Because some people die of cancer, even if they detected it early. Based on funds.
Yes.
If the money is not there, you just be seeing it. You can be looking for 100K, trying to raise 100K until the person will die.
That's true.
But to have people be able to come together to raise money and say that, okay, this is it they're doing. That was a very good one. That was a very
Thank
good one.
you. Thanks,
So you
ma'am.
wrote the book and the book came out and you did your
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. So how did your mother take it as the days are passing by? The day of your Thanksgiving, how was your mom?
Oh, she was so happy. Of course, everybody was happy,
Mm-hmm.
you know. In fact, the first day, the happiness came the day that I did a biopsy and the doctor said because at first they said we're going to do a mastectomy. A
Yeah.
mastectomy is total removal of the
The
breast.
breast, yeah.
And I remember at some point I'm like, okay, can we just take out both breasts? I
Yeah.
don't even want anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I can
I
always
have to be
do
alive.
I can always do reconstruction whenever. So I know I had that at the back of my mind. And then after my fourth chemotherapy cycle, I now did a biopsy, and the doctor said there were no more cancer cells seen, so I didn't have to do a mastectomy anymore.
Wow.
I was now the one asking him, "Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Please remove it, oh. Me, I don't want to. Prof, are you sure?" He said, "Oh yes, of course. We don't." It didn't click at that point. It was when I got home and I realized that like another miracle just happened.
Mhm.
You know, I remember that day I praised God till like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
because that was when it dawned on me like, so Boma, you won't remove your breast again. No?
Oh.
You know, we have that attachment. Of course, it's not easy to tell somebody
Mhm.
you have to lose one part of your body to
Mhm.
some illness.
Yeah.
So that was for me, that was when the happiness started. And
Mhm.
it was like, God did it. You know, God really did this for me. And afterwards, he said to him, like, okay, so you're going to be fine now.
Mhm.
But however, follow through with your treatment. Though.
Follow through.
Don't get carried away. I kept
Mhm.
telling myself. So I kept looking forward to the next chemotherapy. Even though I knew that I was going to suffer from the side effects, I kept looking forward to the next one and the next one till it finished. So of course, my mom was happy, my grandma, my auntie, my cousins, everybody in my family, my
Oh.
uncles, my aunties, my friends, you know, everybody came through for me. And so it was like, God, thank you. You really did answer our prayers through Boma. You know, one of my friends always says to me, you're the miracle I prayed to God for. And God showed me that He still
It
exists.
still exists.
So, of course, we're happy.
I like the awareness you're doing, and because every time you're on Facebook, you're talking about it, and it's not only cancer, for even people that are passing through any form of terminal illness,
Yeah.
even to HIV, you just need to have that strength, take your drugs and move on, and sometimes people just derail from taking medications. They go to one place, sometimes they get prophecies and say, oh, somebody's doing them, and they just abandon everything drugs.
You know, in Nigeria, we're very superstitious, actually.
Yeah.
One of the major problems we have. And then level of education. Some people are not very exposed,
Mhm.
so they are easily manipulated.
Mhm.
So when you go to someone who you're even more exposed than in the name of prayer houses or anything, and they tell you, it's funny how a lot of us are gullible and they just listen to what they say and say, oh, it's your uncle, it's your brother, it's your sister. And then instead of doing the right thing, they won't. Then when it's too late, when it's stage 4, they now start running to when God actually gave you the opportunity to treat yourself in the first place. You now start running. Then some of them will find out too and they won't speak up. That's why I always tell people, speak up.
Speak up.
Don't say, what will people say? You're not the
Mhm.
first person they're going to talk about.
Mhm.
What will people say? It's when you're alive, people are going to talk about you. So don't use your life and don't play with your life and say, I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't know how people were going to feel. Or because I know how some people tell me that, why are you talking about it? You're always talking about cancer. Is it not enough? Some people say that to me.
Oh,
Is it
wow.
not okay? Please stop talking about it though. You're single. What if someone will now be saying she had cancer? So am I supposed to hide the fact that I had cancer? Something that can happen to anybody. And I tell them, you need to love yourself first
Mhm.
before someone can love you. So anyone who doesn't love you because of a challenge you've had or anything, which any of us can actually go through,
In the marriage.
it's not meant for you.
Mhm.
Because I keep telling people, we say for better, for worse. For better, for worse is, for me, is about the challenges that life will throw at
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
The Bible didn't say the weapons won't form. It
Yeah.
said it will not prosper.
Mhm.
But if it is that, they will, of course, they will come.
Now
So,
you're preaching. it.
so challenges are part of life. They will
Yeah.
come.
Mhm.
But it's how you go through it, how you scale through it, your mindset. If you look at my book, there's a part there that I wrote about fear. fear kills faster than anything. So we need to have faith.
Mm-hmm.
The title is Faith. So he talked about having faith. Because I remember when I was going through this, my treatments, I'll be hearing voices in my head. But that's how you're going to die. You're just going to die. Nothing will happen. One day I got so mad. I started talking back at whatever I thought was
Yeah.
talking to me. And I'm like, I will not die. I
Mhm.
will live to fulfill purpose. The purpose for which God kept me, I will fulfill it. Then every time I was exercising in my mom's compound, I'll be saying, Cancer, you have no place in my body.
Mhm.
You have this is the temple of the Lord. I just know
Okay,
somehow
so
I had
hold
strength.
on, Boma. As you begin to wrap up, I want you to look at the camera and talk to people to take, these are confessions that you made.
Yes.
There were some decisions you made, and the fight is a fight that you fought.
Mhm.
People only supported you. They were cheerleaders. They were by the side clapping for you, but you were the one in the ring fighting.
Exactly.
So can you please tell the audience, what were the confessions that you took? What were the things that you did? Like taking medications, morning, afternoon, evening. Were you doing it every time? So please, go on.
Oh, yes. I was taking my medication every blessed day. And every time I would exercise for like 45 minutes to 1 hour, because of course they said I need exercises and everything. And every time I came out, I'll be like, after of course like the voices I said I kept hearing, I kept saying to myself, Cancer, you have no place in my body. This is the temple of the Lord. You cannot dwell here. I know I just kept saying those things. You can't dwell here, because I realized that fear was going to kill me. The fear that I had cancer was going to kill me faster than the cancer. And that's what a lot of us go through. You know, when we have a problem, we start to think about it, we start to dwell on it.
Mhm.
Of course, you're human, you think about it, but you hand over everything to God. Because whether you think about it or you don't think about it, you do not have control over it.
Yes.
It's God that decides what happens. So at a point, I was like, God, you know what? I trust you totally. Do whatever you want. If it is your will, fine. But I know that you will heal me. I know that I've not wronged anyone. So I just started to make positive confessions. And I forgot about the fact that I had cancer. And I was just looking forward to the next treatment and the next treatment and the next treatment. So whatever you're going through, first of all, please speak up. Secondly, have faith. Trust God. For me, it's either God or God.
Mhm.
So trust him and know that whatever he's putting you through, it's probably a test. It's probably to see I remember then they'll say, God gives his strongest battles to his toughest. I'm like, God, please, I don't want to be your toughest soldier, please. I don't want to. But at the end of the day, it made sense. You know, I realized that he probably kept me here to create awareness, to save more lives. I remember one woman saying she was healed from my testimony. And of course, I was so happy, like, oh God, thank God I spoke up. Thank God I didn't keep quiet. Thank God I shared my testimony. So of course, if God also does something for you, please share it. It could touch lives. It will save a lot of people. And you just never know. Thank you.
So, Boma, do you have a community of people? Can people reach you, for counseling and for, just generally talking? Then also too, I want to speak to religious leaders, not only Christians, wherever you are, people that gather together. Please encourage your people to take medical treatment more seriously. And advise them also. I have heard people say that, oh, church is not a place where you talk about any other thing. But you got to know about cancer awareness from the church.
Yes.
Because the church is a community. It's a family where everything is being discussed. Today, Boma is seated here because somebody took out of his way to bring a doctor to talk to the congregants on these things are happening. This is a reality, because if you are not aware, it does not change the fact that it exists.
It does happen, yeah.
So you were not ignorant of it, and that's why you are standing here today. But we have also heard of cases where people got to stage 4. God is a God of miracle. Some people even check it from first stage and they still die. But this is somebody seated here who is declaring the goodness of God. I've seen it, passed through it, and today she's standing to the glory of God, and her grandmom is alive, and mom is alive. The reason I kept saying your mother, because I know the pain a mother has. No mother wants to bury a child. So that trauma in fact, every mother, most mothers, when a child is not feeling well, they literally go to God and say, take me instead.
Yeah.
when the child is passing through pain, they literally want the pain to move from the child to them instead, because they cannot stand that pain, But today she's here sharing a story, and Boma's number will be put up for us to have it, so that you can call her up and tell her if you're passing through whatever you want her to talk to you, if it is counseling or it's. We just want you to know that no matter what you're passing through, you can come out of it. It is not a death sentence. The test result, when it comes out and the doctor is telling you, truly, your mind will tell you as if it's a death sentence, but it's not. It's a shadow. The Bible says in Psalm 23, even if I walk through the valley
Of the shadow
of the shadow of death, it's a shadow. That test result is a shadow. It becomes a reality when you have accepted it. But it will not be a reality if you do not accept it. If you now look at it to say, okay, fine, the doctor said so. What do we need to do? And you go back and you tell yourself, let's walk through this thing. You'll find out that you also will sit on tables to talk about the goodness and the faithfulness of God. So, Boma, I want to say thank you so much for coming today to the healing table.
Thank you.
I am so, so grateful. I am thankful, and I know that people will get healed, people get their testimonies, because that's what the Lord gave you a chance for. And whoever that said that, I will attend your wedding. And Boma is always looking so beautiful, radiant when she's going out. You can check her out on her Facebook page, Boma Susan Banjo on Facebook and Instagram. She's always glam and beautiful. You can see how beautiful she is. And your dark spots are gone. So it was a shadow. It was a face, and she passed through it. And see how beautiful she's looking, better. And now she has a voice, that she's now an advocate talking about this whole thing. So today, the healing table, we're excited to have her here, and we say thank you so very much.
Thank you.